this is Jaden Harloff, and this is my next empathy adventure for my Super Communicators class. And in this empathy adventure, I will be doing the second language challenge, where I change my phone settings to another language that I don't understand in order to put myself in the shoes of those who have language barriers and are living in the United States. So I'm going to change my settings now, and then I'm going to insert a screenshot of what my phone looks like in a different language. So I decided to change my phone to Italian, and this is going through what my front page of my settings looks like. As you can see, it's a lot different, and I really can't understand anything that any of the sections are saying. So I am hoping that I'll be able to remember how I actually put the language setting on in order to be able to turn it off tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes, but here's what my settings looks like. Here is an image of my home screen, and as you can see, the whole calendar that I have on there is completely different, as well as all the names of my apps. And honestly, it's a little bit confusing. I mean, if it weren't for the icons, I really wouldn't know which apps were what, except for some that I can use context clues or just the habit of where they are on my home screen. But the calendar is definitely different, and yeah, I mean, it's definitely not what I'm used to. Okay, so here I actually went into the Disney Plus app just to see what it would look like if the names of the movies would be different. And I ended up getting this pop-up, which I had no idea what it said. It literally would not let me close the app. I even tried turning off my phone and turning it back on, and it went into the app, and I was basically stuck there until I picked an option. And I was only able to figure out, based on context clues and the picture of the map, that I assumed it was asking if Disney Plus could use my location. And I'm not even sure if it meant always, or only when I was using the device, or only when I was home. I have no idea. I still have no idea. So I ended up clicking the bottom option, and I am assuming that means allow, because the top version had the NON in front of it, which I would assume means don't allow. But honestly, this pop-up totally tripped me up because I wasn't expecting it, and then I wasn't able to just close the app and not go in Disney Plus. I had to pick an option in order to use my phone. So hopefully that didn't screw anything up with my phone, and I am already struggling to get through this challenge, and it's only been a couple of minutes. So hopefully the rest of the day goes a little bit smoother than that. So now that my settings are changed, I'm just gonna try to go about my day normally with these settings and see what else trips me up. And I'll check back in a couple hours. Hello, it has been a few hours with my phone being in Italian, and it has definitely been an interesting experience. I have to say that it's a good thing that I know what my apps look like and what the icons of my apps mean. I guess that's a great way that Apple has been pretty inclusive with language barriers, because I'm able to know what apps I need and what apps I'm clicking on without reading the descriptions below them. It's been just, it makes me not want to use my phone. It's confusing. Things will pop up that I don't know what they say, and then I get frustrated. So, you know, it's definitely something that I really didn't think about. I mean, of course I thought about language barriers in terms of verbal communication, but I never really thought about language barriers in terms of online communication over a phone or on a phone. So it's definitely kind of opening my perspective to a new side of language barriers that I didn't really think of before. But it's going okay so far, and I've been doing some homework, so I'll probably keep that up and just keep plugging along. Hi again. I just got back from my walk, and it was great. I honestly was expecting to have a little bit of difficulty with music selection because I thought they were all going to be translated into Italian, but they were not. They were still in English, so I guess that was good for me. But, you know, in somebody's shoes who everything defaults to English, and then, you know, not everything changes to their preferred language, I can see that that can be really frustrating. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath still, but I can see how that can be really frustrating because when I switched over to Italian, I expected everything to be Italian, and it's just not. So that's a little bit strange, but you know, I guess it can't be totally perfect. Maybe things change by app. I don't know, maybe certain apps have certain regulations, but yeah, I still just haven't really been using my phone because of it, which is frustrating because, like I said earlier, if I've gotten pop-ups that I don't understand, I don't really know what to click, or, I mean, thank goodness I don't need my maps or like my GPS for anywhere today because I don't even know if it would come up. And then the lady would be speaking to me in Italian, I would assume. So I can see how things like that can definitely be difficult for people as well. But so far it's annoying. It's definitely a nuance. So, okay. Hi, I just got home from my Bible study and I'm about to get ready for bed. The language barrier didn't really have any sort of effect on me for that because I wasn't using my phone. I wasn't on it. But I am about to get ready for bed, set my alarm. I just realized, thank God, that the numbers are universal because I don't want to not know what time I'm waking up tomorrow. So I'm gonna set my alarm, go to bed, and then tomorrow morning I'll be able to change my phone back to English. So far, I'm gonna do a more deep reflection tomorrow, but so far, it's definitely opened my eyes to what people deal with every day. Like, it's not just some temporary thing that I can just switch my phone into a language I know, or even verbally, not just online language barriers, but verbal language barriers seem like they would have such a more negative and difficult impact to go through, especially when you're living in a new country. You probably don't know anybody. You're probably trying to learn their culture, their customs, their language, and you probably struggle to get around and find basic needs. I mean, I can't imagine going to the grocery store and not really knowing exactly what something is because you can't read the ingredients and you can't read what it is. So I definitely have a lot of empathy in my heart for those people. And I mean, it also makes me think of, I'm traveling to Italy this summer, and I have definitely been feeling nervous about the language barrier. But of course, that's only for 10 days. It's so temporary. Whereas people who travel to a new country to live there deal with that issue for probably most likely the rest of their lives. So it definitely has me feeling grateful that I live in a country where I understand the language, and that I probably will never move to a country where I don't understand the language. And it definitely makes me feel for those people who come here to live the American dream and then can't really immerse themselves in that because of the language barrier. So I'll talk a little bit about it more tomorrow, but those are my thoughts so far, and this has definitely been a great experience. So yeah. Good morning. I am about to head off to work, so I just switched my language back to English, and it feels so much better to know exactly what I'm doing on my iPhone. Similar to what I said last night, I really think that this kind of opened my eyes to a new aspect of language barrier. I didn't really assume anyone had issues with an iPhone because I thought everything automatically translated, but it doesn't. So I can't imagine speaking in another language, but being in this country and trying to set it to a different language, and then you still don't understand a lot of things. Like I mentioned yesterday, my Spotify playlist, all the names of the songs were still in English. So that's definitely something that opened my eyes. But I can definitely feel for the people who struggle with language barrier. I cannot imagine doing this every day. I really can't. So it definitely improved my empathy for that aspect, I would say. And overall, this was a great experience. I mean, like I said, it's not something that you think about all the time. I definitely take for granted the fact that I live in a country where I do understand the language and I do understand everything on my iPhone. So I'm grateful that I do, and now I am able to be grateful for that because it's something that I know that not everybody has. So yeah, overall this was a great experience and I learned a lot.